Hello and welcome to ClickTech UK. Today we're going to be having a look at the Sahara C500B. It's a full ATX tempered glass case with 3 sides of tempered glass. So let's get it out of the box and let's have a look. So the C500B comes in various configurations. First one being as you see it there, with no fans included. That comes in at about £50 on Amazon in the UK. Or alternatively, you can go with one of Sahara's pre-made bundles. Now these are available for just under £80, but they come with the case, some fans and a controller. Now the fan controller is the Pirate Sync controller. Now this comes with a remote control to control the fan speeds and the LED effects. Or you can alternatively attach the controller to the motherboard via the addressable RGB header and the PWM header to control both the LEDs and the fans. So the first bundle I'm going to show you is the Typhoon 14s. Now you get 3 of these fans included. Now these are 14cm addressable RGB fans. They've got an addressable RGB ring around them. Now they include 3, so you can have 2 on the front and 1 as an exhaust. The second bundle is with the Pirate Duo Rings fan. Now you get 4 of these, they're 12cm fans, so you'll get 3 for the front and 1 for an exhaust. Now whenever I do a case review, I always like to do a build in it, but I really like this case that much that I'm actually going to be using the Typhoon 14 version, and I'm going to be putting my system into it, my video editing and gaming PC. So before we do that though, I'm going to take you a little bit around the case and show you some of the features. So the C500B is a full ATX case. As you can see, it's got 3 sides of tempered glass with a very sleek look. There's no thumb screws sticking out of the sides, and we'll show you how they actually come off in a while. Okay, so looking at the dimensions, it's 215mm wide, 465mm in height, and it has a depth of 400mm. In terms of GPU size, it can handle a 360mm GPU, and for CPU coolers, you've got a space of 180mm. So looking at the front, it's almost all a full tempered glass panel with just a couple of silver strips at the top of the bottom. And as you can see there, it goes right down to the desk. It's held on at the front just at the top and bottom with some plastic clips. Now these leave quite a big gap down the sides for airflow. There's enough room in there for the fans to fit in quite easily, and enough space in front of those fans to let air go in quite effectively. My only concern here is the lack of any air filtration. Going up to the top of the case, and at the front we have all the usual switches and I/O ports. So here we have the power button, status LEDs, reset button, LED control button, microphone and headphone jacks, 2 USB 2 ports and just 1 USB 3 port. Behind that is quite a large area for fans or radiators, which has a magnetic dust filter. Going around the back and starting at the bottom, that's where you've got the power supply going. Above that there are 7 PCI slots. Now these are the breakout type. I'm not a fan of these really, although there is a sliding retention bracket to help hold any expansion cards in place. Then moving up again from there, we see the I/O cutout in its usual place, and the exhaust fan mount where you can fit one of those 12 or 14cm fans. Now looking down both sides, you can see this is where the thumb screws are, which hold on those side panels. Now to get those off, just undo the thumb screws, and then you can see this big, well, it looks like a thumb screw with press and slide on it. Now if you slide this gently towards the outside of the case, the door comes open. Now on the opposite side, you don't have that same thumb screw to pull the case open. You do have this tiny little slit here on the edge of the case. What you need to do there is just get a fingernail or something behind there and very gently again just pull it forward and it will come open. So now we've got one of those side panels off, let's have a quick look at it on the inside. And you can see that there's this frame going around the edge which hides any rough edges inside the case when you're looking into it. And you can see all the metal pieces are actually attached directly to the inside of the glass to hold the tempered glass panel in place. So pulling the front off, and the best way to do that is to pull it from behind the plastic at the front. You can see that it's simply one piece of tempered glass which has got the plastic attached to it at either end. Okay, so now that's all open, we can have a look inside. And looking at the PSU shroud first, on the top we can see there are two mounting points for fans with some grills through, so you can push air down through into the basement. And on the side there's rather a large cutout here for your power supply to show through. And at the back and the top there are three holes there for cable management. They've got no grommets in, but they're rounded off on the edges, so they're not too bad. They're not going to damage your cables in any way. And at the front we have rather a large cutout there for a radiator to go through, and you can fit a 360mm radiator on the front there. Okay, so looking up from there, we've got the right hand side, you can fit two SSDs. You can fit them here and here. And above there you've got cable management holes to put your cables through. And on the left hand side you've got the area for your motherboard. It comes with 6 standoffs included. I'll have to add another 3 that come with the case, here and here for the motherboard that I've got. It fits an ATX, micro ATX or an ITX motherboard, and the standoffs are marked as to which is which. And then we've got 2 cable management holes at the top there. So from the inside looking at the front, we can see we've got the area there for the fans to be attached to. You've got these 2 rails here of holes which are going to allow you to move your fans up and down. You can fit obviously 12cm fans and 14cm fans in there. Now you can either have them on the inside or the outside, but also on the outside you could fit 2 200mm fans. Now Sahara are working on some 200mm fans, and it'll be interesting to see what those are like when they're ready. Okay, so turning it round, you can see that we've got our little box of screws and things here. So if I just quickly open that up, so you can see we've got a couple of bags of screws in there and some cable ties. So behind the power supply shroud, we can see here we've got the area for the power supply there, and we've got the cage for the hard drives here. Now the hard drive cage can be moved across. There's a couple of screws underneath to release that, and then you just slide it out and slide it back in again. And on the power supply side you've got these rubber feet which are going to protect your power supply as it comes through, and there's a dust filter underneath where your fan will obviously go downwards. Now underneath the case there is a good amount of space under there. I can get my hand right under, and it sits on the desk on these feet. And if I just turn it on its back, you can see here you got rubber feet there, a little bit dusty from being around the office, but we've got the removable dust filter there for the power supply, and that'll just unclip from in there. And then we've got the 2 screws there and there to undo that little hard drive cage. Now looking on the right side of the back, you can see we've got a 2.5-inch SSD mount there. Now that just unscrews, there's a screw there to undo it. And here is where we're going to put the sync controller for the fans and the LEDs. So finally looking up here, we've got the opening for the back of the motherboard for the back plate, so we can access that if we want to change the colour and it needs a change of back plate on it. And then we've also got various tie down points for cable management. Also for cable management on this side, we've got a large recess here which goes in about 2 centimeters, and it has the cable management holes which go through to the front of the motherboard. So now that that's all done, I'm going to do a quick build in here. I'm going to move everything from my main video editing PC. The case that I've got is okay, the fans are getting a bit worn on it, so I want something new. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use the Typhoon 14 fans, and I'm going to use obviously the sync controller as well. So let's get on with the build. Okay, so this is the first problem I've come across, and that is that the 140mm fan is going to be a very tight fit with my motherboard. The motherboard is the X470 Gaming Pro Carbon from MSI, and it's got a very nice I/O cover there, but that is interfering with getting it in to cover down there. That is a really tight squeeze. I mean, it's only a plastic cover, it's not going to damage any components or anything, but I don't really want to put any undue stress on the motherboard. Probably best to go with a 12cm fan instead of the 14cm ones. But I'm going to persevere with this. I'm going to see how I get on with the rest of it. But if I feel it's causing a problem, then I will swap it out. Right, I just thought I'd stop that there and talk about the cable management a little bit. Now obviously a few of you are going to look at this and go, what the bloody hell is that rat's nest of cables doing in there? Now, I've rushed it a little bit, I must be honest. I've got to get this video out, of course. I will go back to it in a bit and probably try and tidy it up a bit. But I just wanted to talk about my experience with it. So, down this side of the case, absolutely fine. Plenty of room, there's about 2 centimeters worth of cable management space in there. But on this side of the case, there is practically the depth of the SSD. Now I would like to see a little bit more space in there to maybe run a few more cables around in that area. Because I'm using quite long cables, as you can see. And this bar down here doesn't help either, because this is going to stop anything from going. I can't put that over the top of there. I've got to try and squeeze it down the side because the glass is going to fit quite snugly on top of there. Obviously I've put 2 mechanical hard drives in there as well, 3.5-inch hard drives, which is taking up room under there. Otherwise I'd have just probably bundled it all up and shoved it all under there to get it out of the way. But it's not looking 100% brilliant, and with the glass panel going on there, I'm definitely not going to be able to put this side of the case on show. Not that it will be, it'll be up against the wall. So let me know what you think. Is a tempered glass side panel on the side where your cables are going to show any good. If you're not absolutely superb at cables, you're going to have them all running and have exact length cables and stuff. I haven't really helped myself as well with the fact I've got 5 drives in here. I've got 2 SSDs on the front and 1 there, and I've got the 2 3.5 inch hard drives at the bottom. So just something to bear in mind. And yeah, I'm going to get the glass panels on now and have a look at how it looks. Oh, and the one other thing, if I just turn the case around, the 14cm fan, which I did manage to squeeze in the end, is pushing down on the cover of the IOs on the motherboard. Now I might swap that out for the 12cm fan at some point, because it is pushing down a little bit on the IOs at the back. Don't really want to put too much pressure on that motherboard. So yeah, I mean, that'll be easy enough to swap out. I'll just have to redo some of that cable management. So now I'm going to get the glass panels on and let's see how we get on. So there we go. I think they look absolutely fantastic. Now for me, a couple of little issues. The space around the back for cable management, there wasn't much in there. I had to squeeze the cables in a little bit on the right hand side. And also the 14cm fan at the back for the exhaust, I've had to really squeeze that in next to the motherboard. It's putting a little bit of pressure on that, the IO cover there. It shouldn't be too bad, but if I think it's going to cause some problems, then I might swap that out for the 12cm fan, which fits absolutely perfectly. Other issue, the 14cm fans are a little bit on the loud side, I've got to say. They do push a fantastic amount of air though, so if you're looking more for that, then great, go for them. But personally, I think I'm going to switch over to the 12cm fans for my day-to-day use. Now, building in the case I found to be really easy. Everything's accessible, and when you can take the side panel and the front panels off so easily, it really does help. The mount for the 3.5 inch hard drives could be a little bit better. There's no shock absorption in there, so they might be a little bit loud. Not everyone uses hard drives these days. I've only got them in there because they're high capacity and I need that to store some of my video editing files, because I haven't got a separate file server at the moment. But overall, given the gripes that I've mentioned, even with those, I think this is a really good case for the money. So £50 without any fans, or £80 for either of these two packages, then I think this is really good value for money. So I'll leave links to the Sahara C500B down in the description below, so you can check it out for yourself. Give this video a like if you liked it. Got loads more videos coming very soon. Best way not to miss any of those is to subscribe below. Doesn't cost a thing, and if you click the bell notification icon, you'll be told every time I upload a new video. And speaking of new videos, why not watch one of our other videos on the left hand side of the screen right now. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later.